I know what you're thinking. Is he laughing at his own video, what he's just filmed? Well, no, because I didn't just film it. I filmed it about a week ago and then I filmed another video because I didn't have the bits. But the bits just arrived. So now it's time to start the build. Join me as I build the rest of it. I'm scared that I'm going to burn the workshop down. Stand by for a Just Giving page. I'm going to cut it on the bandsaw so I don't set my life on fire. Got the basic shape now profiled out that I want, and I'm not going to grind it yet because what I want to do is build the mounting bracket and then the hand shafty thing to go on there first before I sharpen it, just for my own safety. So let's go collect some parts for the mounting bracket, shall we? Join me on this journey. Right, so I've cut the side parts as you saw with your eyes. But I've also cut these front and back parts, which you didn't see with your eyes because I didn't film it. And I didn't forget to film it, I just didn't film it. So now what I need to do is put this little sliver in, which is the same width as this guy. With a little shim so there's enough space. And then weld all these together. So come and join me on the welding table. While the other piece cools down, we're going to start on the arm mounted part. This is from the axe hand build, and as you can see it's pretty short. So what I want to do is cut a little sliver off, and then I'll brace it all together. I actually have no clue what I'm doing right now, and I've just spent about 2 hours looking around and thinking, I wish I could see the thumbnail like you, so I knew what to do next. But we'll do this while we think. So I've been thinking about things, and this is what I've come up with. I just need to cut some steel for the straps on the side, because I want some brackets going along either side. And then I need to cut some strips of steel to run a rim round here so it looks staggered. You'll see what I mean if it isn't already in the thumbnail, but when I do it as well. So let us go and do what I said I was going to do instead of talking. Come on. So now those are cut, I'm going to show you a little trick which I use sometimes for measuring the circumference if you want to put stuff around it if you don't have special measuring devices. So on here I've put a little black line for the start and finish, lay it on the end of your material and then let it roll. And that'll give you your distance. However, I want some bits at the front and end because they're going to be flat when I put it through the rollers, so I'll mark it just slightly proud. And I need 2 of those. If you are wise, tap into you. This is all the parts I've made so far, and I'm waiting for a slither of this to come because I've only got this one bit and I want to add more of it. I've made another collar for the top part, which will go in here with more of that before I put the top on. But now what I need to do is drill through this and put a handle grip, so otherwise it'll just fall off my hand, or my hand will fall off, and then I can weld it onto my arm. Well, before I start, I've put the collar in to keep it circular, so that forcing that through didn't flatten it. Now let's weld it. While that cools down, remember this guy, which I said while that cools down I'll do something else, and that was about 2 days ago. Let's finish this. I've also realised that this don't quite fit, so I'm going to have to file the inside out slightly. I think it's the carbon build-up from it heating up, and then we need to sand these sides and then drill it. Oh, that's lovely. Now we need to drill these parts. I seem to have hit a bit of a snag here because they're obviously oversized and I need to cut them down. However, the thread doesn't run all the way to the back. So what I need to do now is cut this about there and then use it as a connector block in the middle, and then I'll have to use 4 of these to either side. So let's go on that little journey. That's those fitted in there nicely, ready for the blade to go in, and I've also drilled and countersunk those, ready to go. It just needs cleaning up. And I've got this bit of steel here, which I can't remember what build it's from, but it's a leftover piece, and I'm going to use that. I need to cut a sliver of this off, and then that will get welded on there. While I'm cutting this down, I'm going to cut this down as well, and this is obviously the part that goes in between there somewhere. You'll see, because you'll have seen the thumbnail. I've trimmed the bolts down now so that they're not sticking in my knuckle when I use it. And that'll wait like that because I need to clean it. But what I need to do now is start putting it together. Well, as usual, I went over to the camera to press to stop recording and realised that I hadn't even started. But it went the same as the other bit, and now I need to weld it. I'm having doubts about building this now because I've got to put this in, and I don't know I'm going to weld on the inside of that. just tack the mesh in there real quick. I didn't film it because once I press it in here, you're going to watch me weld it in there anyway. So it's going to be the exact same, but different. I've cleaned off all the welding stain, and now I need to put this in here. And I've realised, because everything else worked, that when I put the straps on, that'll hold that in and stop it falling off. Thinking. Looks like a bloody street lamp. Right, so now it's time to put the straps on here. And I'm going to do them one at a time because they need cutting down. And I want them all to be nice and flush and level. Here's a little tip for you when you're cutting threads on a bolt. Put a nut on it first, and when you cut, you take the nut off, and it makes it easier to slide into wherever you can screw it into. After I chamfered the blade spine, I decided to chamfer these so they don't look like square rectangle things on a round thing. Now that looks a lot better and smoother. And it's now time to go and grind the blade, the thing that I've been putting off for so long, but it's the final thing. Which ones would you pick? Let me know in the comments. I want to put some of this foam padding around here so I don't hurt my delicate little arms. Oh look, it reminds me of your mum. My patrons decided on adding these brass little schmoobly boos to the holes in the blade. So if you don't like it, blame my patrons, don't blame me. I'm just doing as I'm told, I guess. I put some little rubber gaskets around, and also you don't have to glue them in, you can just unscrew them if you don't like it. If you buy it, it's going to be for sale. Check the website. I will line those up when I can be bothered.